Are schools biased? Fossils and how the Cambrian explosion and fossil records have to deal with the Bible. Coming up now. Before we start today, I figured I'd read the daily verse because this has to do with the Bible and it's almost Sunday. So, as far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. Psalm 103:12. High school biology. Uh, it's a necessary course in most states in the United States of America, and it teaches quite a bit. And one of the topics that it teaches, which is semi-controversial, would be Earth science, because in Earth science you must go over fossil records. Now, fossil records say a lot about the history of Earth. This is known. Everybody knows this. Now, what it exactly says isn't always the same. It's very debatable on what you can take from it, but oftentimes schools will intentionally inflate what it's about to draw kids against religion, which isn't exactly the school's fault, but this is what the schools are being told to do. And if you don't believe me, even Michigan State themselves said it in their book Darwinism, Design, and Public Education from 2003. It's a Michigan State University book on all sorts of things. It's very good to read, but it points out the fact, to quote the book on page 218, the errors, overstatements, and omissions found in high school biology books that we examined all tend to enhance the plausibility of evolution, misleading students and impeding their acquisition of critical thinking skills. So what it's really trying to get at is the fact that schools intentionally are taking kids, and enhancing the probability of evolution, which will lead them away from what is possible if said argument wasn't there. Because evolution and the theory of evolution are fundamentally different. They're not the same thing. Inside of AP biology, and well, just earth science, you have something that they talk about quite frequently. It's called the Cambrian explosion, and this is a more recent find in science. I'm showing you the graph for it right now. The whole graph is rather important. It's very important for what we do know about the Earth. And now you can see my mouse. So if you follow it, right, this over here, all these letters and lines, these are all the fossil records we have. Right. Now, in Darwinism, you have something else. You have something called the tree of life. It looks like this, right? Where we have all of us coming from the same organism, and we split, and fossil records would show this if his theory was correct. However, it doesn't. This is the fossil records we have, right? They don't cross over. There's no middle section. We don't go from brachiopods to dinosaurs. We don't go from any one of these lines into another line. They, like right here with the dinosaurs, right here, they just pop up out of nowhere. Literally out of nowhere, right here. We don't know why, but they just do. And so that's a big problem that schools tend to overlook, is that there is no plausible reason these fossils are just showing up. They just are. Starting all the way back 542 million years ago. You can tell because if you follow this, we go down, come across, we end up right here. All of these fossils just start popping up out of nowhere. These are the start of the fossils in New York. They just show up right here. Now this entire table is from the New York Earth Science Reference Table. This is what they teach in New York. But these species can't just pop up out of nowhere. They just can't. So a lot of people will go, oh, well, it still can't be the Bible, because in the Bible it says that all things happened in 7 days. Well, that's also a common misconception. Uh, in the Bible, of course, was written in Hebrew. It says it happened in 7 yom, and the word yom is commonly translated to day, but it doesn't mean day. Yom is a Hebrew word that in English translates to period of light, a general term for time, a point of time, sunrise to sunset, sunset to next sunset, a year, time period of unspecified length, a long but finite span of time, age, or epoch/season. And that's very important because the Bible never said all of this happened within some, like, 7 actual days. It said it happened in 7 set amounts of time, which would explain exactly why all of these fossil records, all of these fossil records over here just show up. They just do. We don't know why. The problem with schools now are that schools are so antsy to push kids towards their critical thinking skills that they are misleading kids unintentionally. I think schools should not be teaching the theory of evolution because, again, to quote Michigan State University, evolution and the theory of evolution are two different things, two fundamentally different things. Because on one hand, evolution, the theory, is all things came from one thing, and we all came from one organism. It was all one thing, and that's an issue because from all that we know, that simply is not proven or factually supported. It's just easier to teach. That's the problem. It's easier to teach things with solutions and things with answers. And so they give an answer. They give the state regulated answer. On the other hand, you have evolution. Evolution is factually supported, but it's not what you think it is. We don't go from monkey to person or some common link into the two. We go from one creature dying to a creature that is using its own abilities to adapt for survival. And that's understandable. Because if you take a bunch of white moths and you put them in the middle of a forest, the darker ones will live because they can blend in with the trees, and the lighter ones will get caught and eaten. And they'll breed, and the darker ones will live. And so natural selection is really what has been shown. But throughout time, it's only natural selection. There's not pretty much any supporting occasions that we can find where one creature even remotely changes close to another creature. They don't do that. They don't go from one species or genus to another species or genus. They stay in that genus. There's a difference in harvesting characteristics and genes and changing them. They don't go from 2 legs to 4 legs. They go from one type of leg to a different type of leg, or one color to another color. That's just how dogs and natural selection, like dog breeding and natural selection works. That's how it works. That's how it's been shown to work, and everybody wants to change that, but that's simply what's been proven. On the other hand, theory of evolution just hasn't. Hey, if you like the content or you want to see more of this kind of stuff, please drop a follow or like or share it with somebody you think could find this information helpful or interesting. Have a nice day.